the local tournament, a tournament that our noble house organized, and primarily to hold a joust to marry off one of the Caladan girls, who is a daughter of a deceased brother of the current lord of the house. Lord Ashra Tyrell, Sir Alaric's mentor, showed up. They laughed, they joked. Sir Tyrell discussed the various people that he invited and shared his insight about individuals to form a grand melee team in which the two veteran knights of tournaments would have a third person on a team, and then they go into the grand melee, all three of them, to bulldoze all comers. And there are various possible ideas. There are several helmeted knights who are nameless, and lots of other named individuals. And ultimately, Halldamir decided to invite Samwell Tarley, Sam the Savage, a relative through marriage of the Caladan household. And Sam graciously agreed with much flourish and kindness. He is a very noble and well-behaved gentleman. Also along the way, Lanny, Dark's character, Laenys, got peer pressured into participating in the Grand Melee himself because the Ashfords arrived. Apparently they had been invited. And a certain lovely lady of a certain, who was a certain spouse of a certain character, said, you know, maybe you should participate. And that certain character, Lanny, said, yeah, sure, okay, I'll participate. And so Lanny teamed up with his spouse and Nima to form a team. Da-da-da-da. There's several other teams. Bree was busy ordering around people, then she got invited to a team by Dorian Willem, who was an anointed knight, and an unnamed Green Knight. And Bree wasn't expecting an invitation to the Grand Melee, but she accepted. And so then there were 8 teams, 7 consisting of named people and 1 consisting of hedge knights. And there was lots of fighting. It was pretty awesome. Had to have been there. I can't really give a proper recap. I don't feel like going through a tournament bracket. But the end result proved to be what everyone rightly expected, or they should have expected, and if they didn't, then they would be wrong. And that is the team of tournament veterans, Sir Ashra Tyrell, Sir Alaric Caladan, and Samwell Tarley, won the Grand Melee. And we ended the session pretty much after that. Also, along the way, Nima socialized with a bunch of gossip ladies and learned some details about one of the Ashfords. And we discovered the identity of one of the hidden knights because he revealed himself to Bree and Sir Willem. None of the other knights were unmasked, unveiled. And Bree plans on keeping the identity that she knows a secret. If you were not there and did not watch last session, well, I'm not going to say the identity. Just kidding, it was Bloodraven. Apparently he's a great bastard. And his presence here means absolutely nothing. He's gone now. And that's where we left off. We have a bunch of days before the joust. We have some other tournament events to do.
Pretty much. The sort of day after the melee, many of the knights sort of are taking a bit of a downtime. Generally, there would here be like a day or two, or just long enough for most fighters to be sort of get back on their feet after the scraps and cuts they might have gotten in the melee. In this downtime, generally there would be other minor things such as archery or some sort of other thing where you have, I believe, a brawl and a caber toss. I suppose that is you, Grimith. Which of these would be first in sort of the event line?
Caber toss.
All right then. I suppose that would be the day.
Although maybe it shouldn't be if Haldamir's not around.
Yeah. Maybe it shouldn't be. We're not going to brawl. Regardless, Dessem seems to have come out of his talking to a lot of people, so maybe he can catch up with his house after all. Haven't really talked much in these last couple of days. Sure. I'm sure Sir Ashra has disappeared with Sir Alaric to do who knows what.
Sure. I'm in the medbay.
There will... Oh.
Yeah, a certain someone's team full of veteran tournament knights may have wounded a certain possible heir to the household. It may have been a Sir Tyrell who wounded the young master.
Fucking Tyrell.
With a times 4 success.
Because someone didn't surrender and yield.
Well, you know, I guess that was brave.
The Maester assures my recovery.
You know, I am sure. Yes. Well, Dessem, I suppose then we can do this now. Dessem would have sent out some form of messaging to the group that he wants to just have a quick get together to sort of just update everyone on everything that's going on, and you know, just have a talk. Like, he hasn't seen them for a couple of days and they haven't seen him, so just, you know, informing each other what has been going on, basically.
I think that was up to Mr. Cole for me.
Yeah, no, Dessem will ask Mr. Cole to
relieve me of leeches.
To kindly relieve the heir to the heir pretender to the house, so he can attend this meeting.
He really shouldn't.
I understand, Mr. Cole. I understand, but this is important.
Yeah, it gives you a rare frown.
Mm-hmm.
As he just nods slightly and sort of lets you into the room of groaning people. It's sort of dark. There's been curtains drawn for the windows. And there's just groaning knights of different sorts who have gotten more than just simple scrapes in the melee.
Hmm. Any deaths
Not a lot of people
so far?
But a few. No.
Okay.
Mr. Cole thinks that there shouldn't be a problem. He will take care of everything.
Evil laugh commenced.
I mean, I'm sure he will. Well, I assume that the group shows up.
I suppose so.
I'm actually there in the same place. Although I'm not wounded, I was just injured for a day. I'm good to go.
All right.
I'm injured because a certain fat fucking massive knight hit me upside the face with a warhammer.
there is talks of how, but people don't generally, at least from what it sounds like, feel that bad because it's a vicious little monster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she did things to people that should not, like. Mixed reactions.
Have people realized that Bree is actually Bree in the melee? I thought she wore a helmet.
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't pay attention for the entire thing, Jonas.
Yeah, I
who can say? Who can say?
I shouldn't have played as much Darkest Dungeon, clearly.
They realized.
Okay, well, now that we have freaked everyone out, that's good. Because there won't be any...
House at birth, right?
Oh, we're such an odd house, aren't we? Well, with everyone gathered in the appropriate meeting room, then, with Kvalar post on the door handle outside, keeping watchful eye. Dessem will, you know, look over his family, see if there is any horrible wounds on them. You know, he will certainly he has talked to Maester Cole about Laenys and Bree. Don't know if Nima has any scraps or scars on her.
No.
Okay.
Did past tense.
As to be expected by the
had an injury, but
by the Braavosi assassin. All right. Then he will look over and say, "Well, I do hope that the past week has been fruitful for you. I have been engaged in many talks, as you can imagine." He looks around, and I thought it would be a good idea to at least update you on some of the thoughts and some of the information that has come to light on my part, at least. And perhaps if something has come to light on your end, you can enlighten me. Looks over the gathered crowd and says, "I suspect I shall begin then. I have spoken to some of the lords that have visited here, and they have, Well, through these talks, there have been some interesting reveals. Well, Lord Tarley is here, of course, as you know. He is still a steadfast ally to us, which is good. He is somewhat worried, though. Particularly, he is worried about the Dornish presence. He feels like we are being occupied by them. Oh, hello?
Sorry, still
Yeah,
working.
Hello?
What happened?
Manaki removed Halldamir from a conversation. When someone's removed from a group call, it makes that little hang-up sound.
Okay. He thinks, or at least worries, that we are being occupied by the Dornish. Talking to me and asking how much control we actually have over the soldiers that are camped outside of our gates, looking over the party. And in my opinion, he is somewhat paranoid in this regard, but he has a point. Having soldiers that we fully can't control might be dangerous. He sort of looks over his papers a little bit. We might want to see to that at some point.
Soldiers you can't control.
Looks over to Laenys. What?
Halldamir! Halldamir!
Was Halldamir actually here now?
He's in the call. It's not showing like the little dots
Fine.
thing. Yeah, he accepted it.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Well, that's good.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
Get
just
over here,
can't
Alaric.
type in the chat. I just can't type in the chat, which is an issue.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine at this point, so Alaric sort of stumbles in.
Who needs to talk to those losers anyway?
A bit too late.
Well, no, I can't type in the chat, as in the Skype chat.
Yeah, who needs to talk to those losers anyway?
I suppose. Just need my beautiful voice, right?
I'm not a loser.
Everyone is so
Don't worry,
mean.
we love you,
You're
Manaki.
Danish, Manaki.
Damn! Shots fired!
Are you gonna take that, Tina?
Well, you know, if anyone were to hit Grimith, I think Haldamir's punch would give more than... Oh, not Manakai's punch would do more than mine. I can't snap my fingers at... No, I can't. I can't snap fingers. Jonas, snap my snap a finger at Grimith.
Snap my fingers.
He's like reaching over and snaps Tina's fingers.
As I was
Snap
trying,
fingers at Grimith.
I was trying
You
to.
servant.
I was
Sorry. Let's continue.
I was trying to do.
Continue.
Oh, recaps.
I'll
Anyway,
load the campaign.
so yes, Dessem looks over to Laenys at that remark. If Laenys wants to follow up on that, if he doesn't, he will ignore him.
Simply is that, Uncle, that while you do not have control, there is still control within the house. Don't trust me on this. Gives a very amused look, and then wincing a little bit at the pain of this wound.
Dessem looks at him. Long look.
Do you not trust me, Uncle?
I do. He returns to his papers. A slight frown on his face. He continues. Except that Lord Tarley assures us that he stands with the house, whatever may come, which is certainly nice. He sort of sniffs a little bit. And then we have Lord Selmy, which I have talked to, and he is certainly his old self, very proud, very militaristic as he has always been. He looks over his papers. He is itching for a fight, is what I'm gathering, and he is willing to join the cause of anyone who is worthy to wield him as a hammer or something similarly poetic. He sort of waves over. My suspicion is that he is referring to his friendship with the heir to House Dondarrion, which he has he's been a friend of for years and years. Apart from that, he seems to be gathering his strength. He most likely is as aware as we are that something is coming. Exactly where he will stand in the case of a rebellion is unsure. My guess would be that he will stand with Dondarrion. The question is, of course, where would Dondarrion stand, and that answer is most likely with the king. He seems quite enamored with the king, to say the least. I also gather from Lord Dondarrion that he has spoken to the king about us at length, and that the king is as I quote, pleased with our house. The solution to the Dornish problem seemed to have pleased the king quite greatly. And Lord Ondarian said to me that unless winter has started and the king had already left, we would in all likelihood have been invited to Summer Hall to meet him. Looking around, letting the impact of that sink in a bit.
Squirm slightly in his chair.
A great honor to be sure. But some of the things that Lord Ondarian divulged during our conversation is worrying me quite a bit. Apparently the king is... Well, the king and Lord Butterwell is continuing the campaign of appeasement towards the Bittersteel and his machinations. They still think a peaceful solution is possible, and they seem to be working tirelessly to ensure that, mainly via a policy of non-interference or placation. I'm not sure if that will work or not. That doesn't seem to be the case when we spoke to the Fireball on our way to Highgarden, as you can recall, I'm sure. Looks over his papers again. In any case, Lord Ondarian is quite taken in by the king and Lord Butterwell and seems to be supporting them fully, making it likely that House Selmy would also do so. The more worrisome information I got from Lord Ondarian is what the king plans to do. He is convinced that the peace with Dawn is lasting and that the realm is completely unified. As such, it seems likely that the king will move to abolish the special privileges of the martial lords. In addition to this, he plans to raise taxes.
The horror.
There's some smirks, slightly. Yes, well, the problem, as I see it, is likely if he does this. The martial lords are old and very proud. If their privileges were rescinded and taxes raised atop of that, and the Bittersteel is offering them a way out, so to speak, or another king to fight for, a lot of martial lords will follow through on that specific deal, I think. In short, this ambition of peace is leading the king straight to war, in my opinion. I professed these worries to Lord Ondarian, who assured me that this was not the case at all. There's some sighs slightly. I couldn't make him see reason in this, but that's the way of it. Lastly, or second to last, we have the Trants, who are here as well. Spoke a little bit to Lord Trant, a very dour fellow, very sinister. He does like my art, though, which is one of his redeeming qualities, I suspect. There's some smiles, slightly. He seemed to be here with his family to try to win the grand prize at the joust, as it were. As far as I've understood it, looking at the rest of you, it doesn't seem very likely.
Why not?
How does looking at us determine that?
I had heard some rumors out on the field that the Trent boys weren't the perhaps most skilled fighters. I thought maybe one of you would have any inside knowledge.
Well, that is not necessary for me. It's not fighting, it's maybe he's good at jousting. He just sucks at fighting.
Even if we did have inside knowledge, I don't think any of us are participating in the joust, Uncle.
I hope not. That would be awkward, but
Mystery Knight joins the joust.
Is it Sir Alaric? He's kind of big.
He's all like hooded
Yep.
and like cloaked and shit.
Is that you? So I recognize Alaric. God damn it! It's like what? Need a wife? Right.
He's also not here in this group, by the way. Just noticed that.
And lastly,
You know what? I fucking know. I got an idea. He can fucking host the goddamn call again.
okay, call went down. Hang on. this again, I suppose.
How many
But it
takes has
was-
it been?
I thought it was Halldamir was supposed to host.
Halldamir supposed to host?
Yeah,
Why?
That's what Grimith said.
But-
because. Oh, wait.
Halldamir? Halldamir.
Hello.
Oh my god, Halldamir.
Oh,
We're
there we
here.
go.
We're here.
Fine, let's continue.
Trying to connect to the server, but I'm still having issues there.
What was I saying? Yes. Lastly, then, of the information I have to the party, is Lord Fossaway, or Sir Fossaway, as he was pointedly noted. And this is perhaps the most interesting. At least for me, it was slightly interesting. It seems that old Lord Fossaway of Cinder Hall has a new mistress, and that she is foreign from across the sea. I think it was it Liz Manaki? I forget. Or was it Liz? Okay. And she has quite seduced the old man and has twisted him around her fingers. And she is set squarely on allying him with the Bittersteel. She has professed this quite openly and has moved all the pieces into position to make this a reality when the Bittersteel arrives. Sir Fossaway, the son of the house who is here at our tournament, is strongly against this, but he can't really act against his lord and father while she is around. Discussed this quite a bit with him, but he determined that we will most likely end up on different sides if there is to be a war, according to this. She is also moving to buy up a lot of the land surrounding the house from the peasants. These peasants are then set off east towards Ashford and are subsequently robbed on their way there, either by, well, mercenaries that she has employed herself, or perhaps some of the mercenaries we sent north. He smiles. Anyway, the Fossaways are in a bit of a mess in that regard, and that might also be somewhat of an opportunity for us down the road, if we want to intercede or start working to ensure the future success of our house, so to speak. Looked over his notes. I think that was all. Looking over the group. So, anything interesting you have found out?
One. A very worrying concern. You said Lord Tarley is completely on us, completely willing to follow us.
Yes, so far he is. He is concerned with the alliance with Dorne, but I have talked some sense into him, I think. Loyalties run deep, and he takes those loyalties very seriously.
It runs deep for him.
That is true.
His son, however, has a distinctly different view.
Which is?
Sam Tarley approached me and essentially gave a warning along the lines of, if we end up leading his house towards the grave, he will ensure that his house does not, removing his father in the process.
That is quite the statement.
I don't see the problem with it. If anyone was going to lead my house towards the grave, I would kill them.
As equally I believe he will try.
I don't... Like, Bree gives, like, this puzzled, like, childish expression. Like, she doesn't understand, like...
It
depends.
It depends on his definition of the grave in this case. That is certainly true. I doubt we would lead his house down in such a way. I don't plan to it.
But what does he perceive?
Yes, that is the question. He didn't give any insight on this, I take it?
No clear insight. And I must say, as much as he might be family, and I would not want to speak against him, he is a little bit unstable.
He is an evil cretin, is what he is.
That as well.
Well, Sarah Cousin's the one who fought alongside him. They fought together in the Grand Melee.
Dessem looks over to Alaric.
Shrugs. He's mental. Completely and utterly crazy. But good fighter, I suppose.
Well, his propensity for blood and violence is well known.
However, I wouldn't trust him much further than the melee.
I do think that is wise. As far as I understood it, Lord Tarley sent him towards House Peak, and they basically using him as somewhat of a wrecking ball in the past. It failed, and they paid dearly for it, but yes. The man is bloodthirsty, to say the least. And
I heard he's going to be participating in the joust.
Doesn't make a face.
Your assumption would be correct. He was so presumptuous to ask if he could sleep in the lady's room, thinking he'd already won.
And how are his chances of actually winning?
I do not think they're high, though I've never seen him ride.
Well, he might try to make them high.
That is true.
I wouldn't put it past him. Okay, what are actually the most likely big players in the joust? Do we have any estimate?
Well, none of us, the closest person who'd be organizing the joust would probably be your character, or like some NPC. Like, none of us particularly cared about the joust.
I know that Andrew Ashford is gonna participate in the joust as well.
That would be unfortunate. That would be
It
even more
would,
unfortunate than Tarley.
Because that house has no money whatsoever. They're broke.
I know.
And
Nima has seen. She broke into the older sons. Well, breaking in is so much. It's not true. She just happened to see some very interesting documents and leave.
And if needed, would she be able to get back in there?
Yeah. The Asperts are idiots. Nima basically has the key to that place.
Alright. Well, that opens up some...
The funny thing is, if need be, Nima kind of has a job at the Asperts if she wants it.
What was that?
Just a way in or out, as it were.
She has been... the Asford has told Nima that if they win the tourney, they would like Nima to be at their place. They want Nima to work at their house. Like idiots.
Well, probably not Nima, right? But the
No, they
Nima
think she's a Fossaway. Well, like I said, idiots.
Well, that's good. So enlighten me, Manaki, on the structure of the joust. Is it going to go in one day, or is it going to be over a couple of days?
Generally, it would be done like in a short amount of time. Yeah, because you really only get unhorsed once. Then you're sort of you have 3 tries basically, best of 3, and if you're unhorsed, you're out. So you can be unlucky, or you can be lucky.
How many days does that last, Manaki? Like, how many
Generally,
entries are there?
that would last 1, unless like something major happens.
The entire joust is going to be done in a single day.
By the way, Nima would ask Laenys about this. How deep is this revenge Asford thingy? How far does Laenys think the older Asford would go to get revenge? Beyond the law?
Likely.
Then you should be careful.
To some point, you're of course the ones hosting the event, so you can just make it last however long you actually want it to be. Traditionally, though, the joust is the major event where a lot of people sort of are watching as well. So that would be something you would do for quite a few hours, and then the next one you could make it last 3 days, 4 days, though that might be stretching it.
Anyway, if Ashford is ready to go beyond the law, then Laenys should be careful, because Gregor Ashford is mainly here to get revenge on Laenys.
Oh, I am fully aware of this.
But since they didn't get to fight in the melee, I thought that maybe that was it, that he ruined his chance. But if he would go beyond the law, then you should be careful. He's a strong guy and stupid, but still.
Yes.
He should not leave his papers out where everyone can read them.
He never was the brightest.
I just love that part. What an idiot.
He probably didn't suspect that you could actually read, Nima.
Has a fair point.
Our own big hulking Sir Knight over there cannot, for instance.
Still, he should not leave important information out in the open while he's sleeping.
I mean, perhaps you can't read, but you can certainly write in blood, right?
That's true, he can do that.
Well,
but,
I'll be careful, do not worry.
well, I'm just relying on the information the Ashford has so graciously given me.
so maybe we should extend the joust to last 2 days. It would give us a little bit of room to maneuver if we felt a need to intercede on certain issues.
It would also help with the fact that it's going to take slightly longer for my wound to heal up.
Well, if there's anyone you want me to find information about, I am a very good liar and very good at acting, so...
Keep in mind that the joust is not going to begin immediately. There's other events that the tournament has to go through.
True.
It's true.
It'll be a few days.
Still, it would be very unfortunate if Ashford actually won that. I would be unhappy with that outcome, and we might need to take certain steps.
I didn't think they were allowed to come here anyway, Uncle.
Yeah, what is that about?
Dessem frowns. I didn't invite them. I just didn't insult them.
Anyway, I happen to have heard that you have certain connections. And since I have the key to that stupid boy's tent, I can easily drug him, making him unable to participate.
Slight smile from Dessem. We will see what we have to do in order to sort of steer the outcome in a way we would want. There is at least a few people that I rather not see win this joust. Hopefully that will take care of itself. I don't suppose Sir Ashra is in looking over.
That would be a no.
No.
No, he's not looking for a wife. Yes, that's so.
How old is he?
Oh, he's like in his beginning of his 40s.
Oh, okay. I thought he was younger.
No.
Okay.
He just doesn't want to get married.
Sure, the eternal bachelor.
Basically, yeah.
Sure, I can understand. Yes, well, that is all the information I had, as I said. Anything else?
Well, I can definitely help when it comes to make sure who you want the winner to be.
Doesn't nods. All right then. That will be all. See to different duties and spread the glory of the house. Wreathe in flames. As he sort of starts to get up.
Yes, wreathed in flames, Uncle.
As people are possibly exiting the room, Dessem will sort of indicate to Nima to stay a second.
Stay a while and listen.
Exactly. Stay a while and listen.
Deckard Cain, I didn't know you were joining us.
Oh my, yes.
Jonas,
You
his
have
character
quite a
has
treasure.
entered the next age category.
You know, once upon a time I could do a decent Deckard Cain.
Oh, my
but
voice is like this.
You have quite a treasure there in that Braavosi blade.
Put
No
it
one
inside
touches
my
my
heraldric
fucking blade.
cube and I will show you things.
The only way someone else touches my blade is through their freaking chest.
Well, Dessem will talk a little bit alone with Nima.
Sure. We can be intimate.
Good. Dessem will look at her and says, so, as I understand it, then you could eliminate Ashford if needed, yes?
Of course.
Good. Try keep close to him and keep access to him. I'd rather not do it. There's old enmity between us, and if he dies on our watch, it would be problematic. Diplomacy speaking. It would be good if he couldn't attend the joust, of course. Maybe some bad wine or something similar.
Of course.
Not enough to make him stay in bed, but not any lasting harm.
I wouldn't.
After that, I have more of a long-term project that I might want to employ you for in the coming weeks. And
so you are hiring the assassin, I hear.
Utilizing the resources I have to ensure the success of the house.
Indeed. So what can I do for you?
Well, it is in regards to the mistress of Lord Fossaway. She is urging the old man to ally with the Bittersteel, and if that is a problem we can nip in the bud, I think it is worth trying. Since I heard this only a day ago, I have not come far in the planning, but I would like you to, perhaps in the future, do an attempt at the mistress's life in some regard. We need to research this more, of course, and do some planning.
How would you want it?
I would prefer if she simply disappeared.
Falls.
I don't exactly care how she disappears. The only
So not falling down
requirement.
the stairs, just disappear in the face of the...
There's some things. If you can make it fall down a stair, that would be good. If it's an accident or some sort of natural cause, that would of course be absolutely excellent.
The smiles. Accidents happens.
They do. The key here is that she needs to be removed in some fashion. When she is, Sir Fossaway, the son, can take control over the house and steer them away from allying with the Bittersteel, thus robbing the Ashfords of a potential ally up north and giving us a potential ally up north. Sir Fossaway is far too honourable to do anything of the sort himself, and but I do believe that if she were to be removed, he would be much more inclined to join our side in this cause.
Oh, it would be an honor. I'm missing my old field.
Good. We would need to find some information on Cider Hall, of course. It is not the most prominent or impregnable of fortresses, as far as I know. But that can come a bit later. But yes, just a heads up, so to speak.
Well, I will... You should probably then, while I'm gone, not start any fights with Bree.
I will try my best.
Well done. Well, I look forward to the new job.
Good. First, though, the tournament needs to be taken care of, then after that we can plan more in detail for this.
Well, if you supply me, then I'll do it. When do you want me to do it?
Well, we will let the tournament pass first and see that everything goes well for that. And then a couple of days after the tournament has been finished, I think we should discuss this again.
Of course. Mornings are my schedule is quite filled up, but the mornings are the time I have to speak.
Dessem smiles. I will try to be flexible.
Thank you. Well, it's just if you want my cover to stay.
He nods.
As it is, then mornings are the only time I have.
He nods. Very good. Keep keeping an eye on Ashford. The more information you can bring me on him, the better.
The little shit knows nothing.
Well, whatever papers. He smiles. The little
He's so-
shit leaves around. I am sure would be an interesting read.
Well, I've read all the papers that the older brother has, and that he has with him, and all he has is his estate. His estate, how much money he has, how much he's owing. The little one has nothing whatsoever.
All right then. Well, keep up the good work.
Sure.
And if you require some sort of drug or poison for the to keep him sedated or out of the tournament, if it comes to that, do let me know.
Well, it would be the easiest way.
All right then.
So if you supply me with the
I'll take a look and see
with
what
the
I have in
poison,
stock.
and then I will supply it.
Yep, I'll see what I have in stock.
Good. Want me to kill the older one, or just leave it at that?
I mean, it's the let's see here. Is it the which one of them is the one? The older one is going for the joust, right?
No, it's the young one.
Oh, the younger one is going for the joust.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was the older guy.
No.
Okay.
He just wants to kill Laenys.
Oh, sure. I mean, if he is stupid enough to move on Laenys, we'll just get him. But
I'll stab him.
yes, well,
There's only
Laenys-
so much I can do, because since I am obviously the only with this kinds of features, so I have to be careful.
yeah, doesn't nods. Keep an eye and an ear on them. If they keep talking about moving on Laenys,
First of all, I do not know what your relationship with the Fossaway is. What is your relationship?
the
That name.
I do not know Sir Stefan Fossaway that much. I have met old Lord Fossaway at some point in the past. We are acquaintances and on fair standing usually. Nothing too much either for or against. Most of our businesses has been economic,
Well, if I
flax
am
and apples and such.
be discovered by name, the Asford are gonna go to Fossaway.
Of course, that would be, of course, completely unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yes.
So that's. They think I'm a lady in waiting from the Fossaway.
That's good, because if something bad happens and you are somehow implicated, they would most likely turn against the Fossaways, then alienating them even further.
But if that is to be that my cover is blown, I have to hide, because I have pretty unique features here.
If your cover is blown, first of all, try to do your utmost not to be actually traced back to the house, to our house.
There's nothing that points to the Caladan. Nothing. They have nothing that points to it.
Good. In that case, if your cover is blown, lay low and try to disappear.
Of course.
You being caught is not an option.
Well, the chance of me getting caught is basically none, because the Asford are so high up in their own ass that they don't notice anything.
Dessem nods. Good. Well, I look forward to your continued success.
Me too.
And then with that, he will make a strange clicking sound, and Kvala will come flying and sit on his shoulder. As the two of them will leave the conference room.
I only want to leave too. She has a job.
Yes, and I'll need to look over my special stocks. And scene, I guess.
Just remember, if you want him, just remember to give the poison that you are sure that just so he just. I don't know if we end up killing him. That's just a.
I'll see what I can do.
The trademarked Caladan house poison. This house possesses.
That would
the
be
extract of the flax that only grows in these.
that'd be
Who the fuck spent the destiny points for this?
that'd be pretty great. Our own poison guild. Yes. The
No,
flax.
Who
that
did
wouldn't
this?
be.
Like when it was
It's actually a
someone
gift from
from
House
lice
Bee.
uses tears of lice. It's,
Well, Nima would just like to would like to know if the poison you give kills him or just makes him
you can all try to reconnect now, by the way.
incapable of joining the joust.
I will do my best to give you a poison that will incapacitate him, not kill him.
Okay. Because then it depends on just so she gives him the poison when it's the right time.
Oh my goodness, Halldamir, do you have
I
server privileges now? Holy fucking shit!
What?
Start us off right!
baby! We're on the server!
Celebrate.
Fuck yeah! Flip table.
Just like Jesus.
Fucking RP mosh pit over here.
Oh,
We're
fuck.
actually all here, huh?
I'm here.
That was too much fucking energy.
It's just taking me an hour.
The Grimith is spent. He's gonna go to bed
Well,
now.
what does Alaric want to do after the quiet meeting? How does he feel about having injured Bree with a hammer and his old mentor
Having been
wounded
impaled,
Laenys?
like,
I don't like it, but whoever steps in into the melee knows they're gonna get hurt eventually.
They asked for it basically.
Pretty much.
Asked for the hammer. All right.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
worry. Bree is not innocent. Look at her.
I will remember this.
You know what she has done.
yeah, don't even think
She
about
didn't
what.
know it was
they're-
her. She was wearing a
what
helmet.
Laenys-
Yeah. Well, actually, no. She kind of tore that off.
Yeah, the helmet kind
Then
of fell
I
off
smacked
before
her
you
in the
shot.
face.
No, the helmet definitely wasn't on.
Oh, beautiful. All right.
You know what would be hilarious? If Nima was a faceless, she would take that young guy's face if he were to kill him. But of course she's not.
Yeah.
So
You should look into that.
no, magic is not part of this world. That's the old school.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as magic. It's just legends.
It is. So, I believe you wanted to start with the caber toss, especially now that Alaric has showed up.
Yes, caber toss. Caber toss.
All right,
What
sure.
the hell is caper toss?
It is where you take a big piece of wood.
Scottish tradition.
Bree, you're doing this. Why don't you go
Oh.
ahead and...
Right. Okay.
It's your competition. You should have the chance to speak of it.
Why? My character's not even 12. Why am I explaining the
Apparently
event?
she knew what a caber toss was.
There's heralds for that and shit, and like tournament masters. They can do it.
So tell us in the voice of Bree's Herald and Tournament Master what a caber toss is.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I will actually do that. Let me get an affectation here. No, I'm not gonna do it.
He's probably Dornish, honestly.
That's right. I can't do a Dornish accent.